People always ask how I balance my family life with 400 shows a year. I'm just doing what I love with the people I love. It's my magic life.
I like Wes Iseli. I like everything about him.
All right, guys, we're back. And this week's guest is someone who has influenced magicians all over the world, from winning FISM to fooling Penn and Teller. He's a creator, an author, an awesome magician, and a great guy. Everybody, it's Boris Wild. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, good to see you, Wes. Good to see you, Natalie. I'm really happy to be with you guys. I mean, I've been following your podcast, and now I'm in it. Yay!
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to have you here today. I'm doing research and I'm Googling around and everything. And there was a site that said he is really well known for his magic and mentalism. I don't know you as a mentalist. Do you bill yourself as a mentalist?
So do you trust the web? Do you trust the
No,
internet?
that's why I'm asking you.
No, I'm not. I've never qualified myself as a mentalist, honestly. So, I mean, I'm doing predictions. I'm doing like some kind of like mind reading through my card magic and everything. So whenever someone says, "Hey, do you have like, mentalism stuff?" Or I mean, says, yeah, of course, yeah. So I just, I can adjust the presentation just a little bit to make it like more mentalism, but I've never claimed that I'm a mentalist. I would never, because I know lots of magicians. When mentalism became big, they did make all new business cards. Like before it was just magician, I was like mentalist magician. And I'm not doing that. So yeah.
I think of it as something totally different. When I did Flip for Fool Us, they put me in the mentalism category. I'm like, I've never thought of myself as a mentalist ever. Yeah. It's just
That's true, but yeah, you predict something, so you can see the future. If you can see the future, you're a mentalist. Yay!
It's a trick. It's a trick.
There you
All right.
go.
So where we always start these is tell me about your beginnings in magic. What was your beginnings?
I started magic when I was 12 years old. I saw a magician on stage, and I was just stunned. I think it was probably one of the very first that I actually like saw live from that close. And it was a good time of my life because I was still, of course, at that age at school, and my parents were desperately trying to find something for me to do after school. So I tried all kinds of things like classic tennis, a little less classic, but very French fencing, whatever. Uh, Other things like sport and stuff. I was not really into sport, and I saw magic, and I'm like, okay, I would like to do that. And that magician say, hey, yeah, we gather between magicians every Tuesday night. That's just a little, little place somewhere. So okay, come and see what you if you like it. And immediately I fell in love. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do, of course. Yeah, and there was a professional magician coming once in a while to teach us some more advanced stuff. And he saw potential in me, say, would you like to take private lessons? And sure, and my parents were very supportive, which I'm very grateful and very thankful for that. And started to take lessons, and then he introduced me to a magic club. And just went to that magic club. And fun story, 2 days ago, that magic club organized a special magic day, and they had me as a lecturer, and I prepared something special for them because it was 40 years ago, 40 years ago, exactly, almost day by day, that I joined the club. It was in spring 1986. So it was very emotional. And it was great. So yeah, I just celebrated my 40 years of magic, basically.
I thought you were going to say they named it the Boris Wild ring. Like,
that would have been cool.
No.
I'll put it out
No.
there. I'll put it for next year.
Yeah.
Let's wait a little bit, because honestly, if that happens one day, I would feel like, okay, it's the beginning of the end, and I don't want that.
So as a young Boris with fencing in your background, I immediately thought of card sword. Did you ever play with a card sword with your fencing?
No, but interesting fact is the founder of that magic club in the north of France. His name was Jean Ducatillon, and he was an engineer, and he was very known for the sword, because he made them, and they were like beautiful, gorgeous at the time. So I guess there is, everything is kind of linked in a way.
Wow. So did you start out doing kids' birthday parties and things like that?
Yeah, at first, honestly, the very first performance I did was a few months after I started, and I did the two things I could only really do in front of an audience. That was Professor's Nightmare, and it was a card trick with a size step-in. So basically, like having three cards selected and using the system, like, well, it was some kind of mind reading. I was a mentalist.
Mentalism.
Just, just saying, hey, you're okay. I think I can see a black card, blah, 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 and I just revealed the three cards. So very basic, but I started with cards basically. The first thing I bought was a close-up mat and a deck of cards because it was the cheapest thing I could afford at that time, and I realized that it's not a trick, it's just thousands of things you can do with just a close-up mat and a deck of cards. So I think that's where my passion for cards come from.
Absolutely. And cards you can just put in your pocket and you can practice anywhere. I'm teaching lessons to a millionaire, billionaire guy, and he's like, I need something. I'm in airports. I can
Yeah.
practice in an airplane. I can practice here. I can practice in the lobby. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like fun fact, I was in the US a couple of weeks ago, and of course went through TSA immigration. And so the guy checked my passport and looked at my work visa and everything. And he says, "Oh, you're here for work?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm a performer. What do you do?" "I'm a magician." He says, "Show me a trick." And I was like, "Am I allowed to show a trick to a TSA officer at immigration in a Newark airport?" And I thought it was a trick. He says, "No, no." So yeah, I had a deck of cards on me. I'm like, okay, and I was doing things, and I tried to avoid any eye contact with everyone in the line because I thought they would think I'm probably weird to show cards, whatever trick or whatever it was to the officer. But the guy enjoyed it. He says, "Okay, boom, passport, but you're free to go." I'm like, "Okay, you're good to go."
That's
So
awesome.
deck
Yeah.
of cards can save your life, definitely.
I'm
So
always I'm always terrified something's going to happen at the international airports we go, and I'm like Natalie's the boss. I'm like a little kid. I got the other kid's hand. She's the boss. Let her do it. I'm terrified to answer a wrong question. So with your deck of cards, what is your everyday carry? Would that be a deck of cards, or do you not do magic socially like that? You just want to turn that off?
well, yeah, I try to yeah, I try. I mean, I have a deck of cards on me usually, but if you see me outside like doing grocery shopping or whatever, it's very rare that I have a deck of cards on me. Like usually I would have. Okay, let's be honest. I always have the paper to bills in my wallet. So just in case I realize, oh, should I need to do something here, or I meet someone, or it's the right opportunity for whatever it is, I could still reach into my wallet and just do the paper to bills, euro. But the rest of the time, yeah, I try to, yeah, just be. I don't really believe in the 24 hours magician thing. I mean, I think I'm not really, I like sessioning with other magicians, but to me, magic, I have so much respect for magic and I want to do justice to magic. So I want to do it in the best possible conditions. And sometimes sessioning is a little rough, a little raw. And so I would much prefer to, perform only when I have the good conditions, if I have good lighting or anything, because I think it highlights your performance this way. And sometimes you just want to be like, oh, I'm a magician, I want to do a card trick, blah blah blah, anywhere. And sometimes I feel like it doesn't really highlight your work because for some reason, if the conditions are not the best, the lighting is not the best, you can show a great trick and people will be like, okay. Same thing with the right conditions at the right moment, and you don't push too much, hey, I'm a magician, let me show you something. Uh, I think would be a better option. I mean, that's at least for me, that's what I realized.
No, 100%. Only if somebody asks for it. They talk about, assaulting people with your magic. When you go up to somebody, let me show you a trick. And that's the wrong way. Yeah.
Yeah, or even sometimes they say, oh, can you show me something? And you feel like this is not the right place to do that, and it's gonna be awkward, a little weird, and you don't want to be in that position. So you'd be like, oh, I can't really do anything here, but but yeah, Saturday you meet at that place. Okay, good, perfect. I'll be there. I'll make sure I bring something to you and something even more special because I'll be ready for it. So I think it's like a singer. It's like you're not going to meet your favorite singer and say, "Hey, you're in the middle of the restaurant, sing me something." I'm like, no, they don't have the right microphone, the right acoustic, the right venue. It's not gonna work. So yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you. So how far was it from that first show to trying to go to FISM? What was your introduction to FISM? How did you find out about FISM? What inspired you to want to try FISM?
What has been, well, the fun part is when I started Magic was in 85, 86, I joined the Magic Club, and then that's when I realized, oh, there are Magic conventions. I had no idea. So, and at those Magic conventions, they have competition. So in 87, I did the IBM convention in Brussels, Belgium, because it was close to the border, the French border. I was living in the north of France, so the closest was, Belgium, Brussels, and I won an award. And then a few months later, boom, I went to the French National Convention and won the award also in card magic. And I'm like, huh, that's good. And I did it again in 1990, and then there was a long break because those awards and me studying and also now having like a little press and agents booking me, I was more devoted to work for the normal people, lay people. Um, Up to 96, well, basically a little bit before, because in 1993 I joined the army because it was mandatory at that time for a year. And right after, I moved to Paris because it was more convenient for like traveling and magic, more opportunities for work, etc., etc. And I started to work on a new act that I thought maybe one day I would compete, because I didn't want to do all kinds of competitions. I did competitions, I saw it worked fine, but I don't know, I feel like I should do something about it. So for like about 3 years, 2 to 3 years, 3 years, I worked on an act that became my FISM act. So 96, I went to the French National Convention again, won first prize and the Grand Prix. No one has ever won a Grand Prix with a card act, ever. And since 96, I think no one has ever won a Grand Prix with a card act. And I was lucky because it was 96 and everybody was like, hey, FISM is every 3 years, but lucky you, FISM is next year in 97 in Dresden, Germany. So you should join. I'm like, nah, World Championship of Magic. Come on. I mean, they say, yeah, you should try. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be an experience at least. So went there, yeah, I won the highest place there. And then I was working at the time. I had a regular job in Paris, and I decided to quit because I couldn't do both. It was not anymore doing like Paris or Belgium, or it was the US and Japan and Korea. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to be a professional magician for 3 years until next FISM, until new winners, and then I'll be has-been. Nobody will want me anymore. They will book the new people, but at least no kid. I mean, I was not married. I didn't have any kid. I was young. I was like, okay, at least I could, do it for 3 years. I don't want to be an old bitter guy. Like, I should have tried at least when I could. Now I could not anymore. Um, and yeah, those 3 years became 29 years now. So
Wow.
yeah, and I kept working and got a little better every year, and that was the beginning of it. Like FISM was really the turning point in my career for sure.
So you mentioned Army and regular job. Tell me about the Army. How long?
Now,
How
the
long
army,
Army? I
I
don't
have
know.
a great story.
I
Army
don't.
is a great story.
Okay.
Because in France it was mandatory. You had to do the army until I think I was one of the very last, I think, to have to go to the army. I think it was in the mid-90s that it was over. But at that time it was mandatory. And the fun part is, a couple of years later, earlier, sorry, I did a Christmas show for the French army. And one of the general comes to see me and is like, "Hey, come on, kid." It's okay. Say, "Have you done your army already?" I'm like, not yet, but I guess it's gonna happen soon. He says, "Okay, good show. Here is my business card." He gave me his business card. And when I got my letter just to go to the army, I was requested to call him. So I called him and he said, "Okay, good. I will take care of it." And nothing happened. And I went to the army for first month and it was awful. Honestly, it was very bad. I did all the worst thing you can imagine at the army. But after 1 month, my name got called and he said, pick up all your stuff, get into that truck. And they they just put me in a truck. I had no idea where I was going. And about an hour and ish later, I just, arrived in a place I had no idea where I was. And a guy I've never seen was in front of me, like again, like big guy from the army. And he said, hello, kid, welcome to the Secret Service. So I
Oh,
had no idea. So that guy I did the Christmas show for was working for the Secret Service. Obviously, he didn't tell me because he was not allowed to tell me. But he thought that maybe as a magician, I'm a guy who can keep a secret or some secrets. So so when I called him, I knew later that they made a full investigation on me, on my family, my parents, blah blah blah. And I went through. Yeah, good. And that's where after that, they changed me, they moved me to a different service, and I did the rest of my army at the Secret Service, which was very laid back and cool. I couldn't talk about it for 10 or 15 years because it was the level of secrecy just under the president. So, but it was really fun and interesting. And so magic can be useful for all kinds of things, including.
Wow.
what a cool experience.
Do you talk about that on stage ever?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Do you talk about that on stage ever?
No. No, I may have told, I mean, I tell you now, I may have maybe told in a couple of interviews, maybe max, but not, I've never. Maybe I should do a trick, or maybe I should, introduce something talking about that because and it's a fun story. I'm not, yeah.
And very unique. I mean,
Yeah, you're missing
I-
out. Add that to
right?
your show, man. That's like
Yeah.
to be. I mean, we just had Rocco on a couple weeks ago. He
Yeah.
wanted James Bond when he was little. You
Yeah.
were James Bond,
Yeah,
dude.
that's so awesome.
No, it was, yeah, we did some fun stuff during that year, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
What was your job when you came out?
so when I came out, I moved to Paris, and do you know the toy Playmobil?
Sure.
Little toy. So I was in the marketing department working for Playmobil for 4 years.
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So it was fun. I even did a magic kit, a Playmobil magic kit at that time. They asked me to do one, so I did one, which was kind of funny. So
Do you have one of your own that you made?
it was just, yeah, it was like they have the I'm sure you have that in the US, of course. The Barbie had like a club Barbie or Barbie Club, etc. Playmobil had one too. So kids could subscribe to this and get like gifts and coupons and stuff and coloring things over the year for Christmas, their birthday, blah blah blah. So one of the gifts was a magic kit that I designed. So it was like a little
that's
metamorphosis thing with with the little guy and the little girl. And what else? I can't remember exactly. That was a long time ago. That was like 35 years ago.
In
So-
my collection, I have a Playmobil magic kit. I wonder
Oh
if
yeah,
it's made.
yeah. They released a couple. I think they released 2 or 3 different ones. I think I've made in my cabinet. I have all kinds of figurines, magic figurines, and of course, I had to have the Playmobil.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. What did your
So that
parents
was fun.
think about all this? Of you being a magician and quitting your real job and becoming a magician. What did your parents think?
Well, my parents, I'm really lucky. My parents have always been very supportive. They've always been like, okay, studying first, work first, etc. But magic was always an extra. So as long as, I had good grades and I was working, etc., I could do whatever I want on the side. So they've been extremely supportive. Whenever well, I didn't choose to become a professional. I had to. Again, fun story. I came back from, I can't remember. I think it was from the US already at that time. And I came back on Monday morning at Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. And I had my luggage and everything. I went straight to the office after, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 hours flights with a layover, jet lag and everything. And I arrived right on time at 9 a.m. at my office in Paris Monday morning. And I just put my luggage and phone rang, pick up the phone, and my boss was like, okay, meeting in 10 minutes. And I remember just putting the phone down. I'm like, I cannot. I cannot anymore. I mean, there's no way there's no way I can do that. I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
So and so I basically said no, I like to do things well. So I would much prefer to quit my job, try magic, see if that works, and if that doesn't work, it's okay. I'm gonna be on my resume. All right, I have this gap because I tried this. So people will see, oh my God, he's not afraid of trying things and he likes challenges, which is good for your resume. And if that works, it works. So I couldn't do both halfway. I had to do one thing completely. So either I stopped, I don't take the opportunity of traveling and get all the benefits of my FISM award, or I do it. So I decided, okay, I should quit. But biggest fear was not to my biggest fear was the change of the relationship that I have with magic will change. It was an extra before. It was fun, and now if I'm professional, that's what will make me buy food, and that's what will make me fill the fridge and buy clothes for my daughter. So that was my biggest fear. Says, okay, I hope it's not gonna affect my relationship to magic, because I would hate now that magic is a part of my life where it's a job. It's mandatory. It's yeah, I have to do things because if I don't do them, I can't pay the bills. So I tried to be careful with that and not accept everything for like the lowest price possible. Just thinking, hey, okay, it's not my price, but at least I can pay the electricity bill with that. So sometimes I had to hang up and be like, I said no. Now it's gonna be hard to pay the bills at the end of this month, but I much prefer to do that. I think it's an investment for the future. And I was right, but at the moment it's hard. At the moment it's hard, and again trying to keep things fresh and exciting every time I perform magic, even if it was now my job and something to make a living.
Dude, still after 30 years, anybody says they can't afford me, and it's like, yeah, sorry, next year,
Yeah.
and save up next year, you can afford Wes, and it's like, honey, ooh, that's hard. I want to do them all, Boris. I want to do every show, but you
Oh
can't.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, you can't do every show, and it's not good for you. It's not good for the market in general, like
right.
for everyone. And if everyone is just like you or I, and we play things right, yeah, it's going to be beneficial for everyone. And but yeah, I agree.
That's why I have her though, because it's hard to say no. It's hard to say sorry, you can't afford me.
Yeah, always listen to Natalie.
Yes, 100%.
Thank you.
So one of the things when I was on Fool Us, I walk into and see this guy just at the buffet, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
And I'm
remember.
I'm leaving, and I walk up and see you, and I couldn't tell you I won. I couldn't tell anybody anything, and I'm like, I did good, and that's all I could say. But I did good. I did good. I didn't get booed off
Yeah,
the stage.
how was it? Good. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I had a good time. And
dude.
you? And I was just like, yeah, I enjoyed it too. It was fun.
But you were telling me you were more nervous about Fool Us than you were FISM. Is it because you were trying to fool magicians? Because FISM is trying to fool magicians. What was it about Fool Us that had you at that moment, pre you going on, that made you feel nervous? Because I'm like, I just won and I'm Wes Iseli, but this is Boris Wild saying he's nervous. I'm glad I didn't hear that before I went on.
I don't know. It's just I'm not a TV magician, so I've not done so many TVs. I mean I've done a few in France, like big ones, like Le Plus Grand Cabaret du Monde. That was this big show. All pretty much visual performers I've done, and I've done it 5 times, and yeah, and so I did a few other things internationally, which was good. But for some reason, it's just I'm more a close-up guy, so I've just come on this giant stage. I speak none in my language, so even if I'm okay, and I still have the French accent, and I apologize in advance for it. But but even with that, so it's not in my language. I have Penn and Teller in front of me, like there are two of my heroes, um, And they, the producers, and they tell you the same thing. And the producer says, "Hey, you've been selected to be on the show, so you already won. So the trophy is a nice bonus. It's a bonus. It's a nice bonus. Of course, it's a very nice bonus, but hey, it's a bonus." So so I didn't feel like the pressure of like, oh, I should get it because I'm Boris Wild, bro. No, I never thought of that, and honestly, I never thought I would fool them. But I don't know. It's just it felt I won't say I felt out of place, but it was, yeah, I'm more a close-up guy. I was on a big stage. It's not my language. It's Vegas. It's Penn and Teller. There's TV and cameras everywhere. And honestly, I don't watch TV. I don't really trust TV in general, even if I know the production of Full is top-notch. As they do everything they can to highlight your work and make you look good on TV. So I was not too much worried about it. But yeah, also, yeah, I'm a little crazy too because you remember my act. I had 13 cues for Penn's voice, and I just went there by myself, so no one was with the sound guy, like being like, okay, now. So I just sent them a script. I try to to stick to my script to make sure that I don't change any words so they know exactly when to press play 13 times. So I was a little worried about that, to be very honest. I mean, when I think about it now, I'm like, I was an idiot, or I was completely off my mind, insane. I should have brought someone, but at that time I was like, I cannot bring someone. I'm just lonely on stage. They're not going to pay a second ticket for someone else. Okay, that's a lot of money, and now I realize, come on, Boris, you should have done that. So I was more worried for that, just to make sure that I don't hear the right voice, or I just say something and wait and voice 3, 4. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't
a lot.
want
That's
that.
a lot to be nervous about. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
It,
So
just that fact alone. Don't take away the TV, take away everything else. That's your show. That is, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I really wanted to surprise them. I was not planning to fool them. My only goal was I want to surprise them because it was in 2020, as you may remember. So we taped in March, just before COVID hit, and I was working on it for like a few months already. So there was no AI at that time. So now if I go on stage and and if we hear Penn's voice saying things to me, people will be like, "Oh yeah, sure, AI, okay." But at that time, Penn was surprised. He just listened, he heard his voice, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm pretty sure I've never said that. It's cloning my voice that you did here." Uh, so it was, quite new. I mean, not new, it was just almost impossible at that time. So, so I may have been like a little pioneer of deepfake voice, and I was doing it on Full
100%.
House, which was fun. But my goal was that I just was waiting for that first voice and look at them and be like, haha, yes. And that
Awesome.
was it. After that, it was okay, I'm good now.
So in your career, from the young guy joining the Magic Club, taking lessons, to where you are now, and your whole journey, where have your thoughts on magic changed? Where do you think it's evolved to or from? Do you think magic differently?
I think so, but at the same time, when I look back, because like I just celebrated 40 years of magic. So last year, the French Magic magazine did like a full cover story and everything. So I had to dig into pictures and things from the past, and it was kind of interesting because I like to do things, and once they're done, they're done. I don't look back. I just look at the next thing in front of me, something in the future. So I rarely, and I don't have time just to, and I don't want to, I don't like to see myself in like pictures and videos and stuff. From time to time, you have to. So that's what I did. And I look back and I'm like, huh, I was happy to see some kind of consistency. So of course I evolved, um, and hopefully thought magic better year after year because I realized, oh, okay, that's what people would expect, or that's where I feel like I am better now than before, or this is, the direction I want to take. But honestly, FISM was an important thing, of course, because funny story. If you like funny stories, I got another one. At FISM, I gave my CD to the. I mean, I had rehearsals, of course, so 10 minutes, very short because there are so many people. So I went to the tech guy and I gave my CD because my FISM act, the Kiss act, is done entirely to music. So it's card magic. If you don't know it, it's a love story with cards. I mean, you know it. I'm talking to the people watching it. But if you if you don't know it, it's a love story with cards. It's not playing cards, but it's like, blank cards and kisses, and there's a message appearing, blah blah blah. They're kisses, etc. So anyway, so I don't talk. So 1997, I just gave my CD to the tech guy, and the guy is like, no, no, this is close up today. Stage is tonight. So and I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why I'm giving my CD because I'm in a close up competition. It's like, then why do you give me a CD? I'm like, because I use music. He's like, oh, I took my CD and he looked at me like I was a weirdo or something. And but that tells you a lot. That little story tells you a lot. At that time, nobody was using music in their acts. I think if I remember correctly, I think I was pretty much the only one. So I don't say no one has ever used music before me. Yeah, people have used music before me, obviously. But they were telling stories, they were talking over music. And it was, very few people only. But like a card act, not close up, but card, entirely to music without talking, and with emotion involved, etc. And because at that time I realized that everybody was just doing comedy pretty much, like make them laugh, make them laugh. And my goal was just make them cry, but with emotion, like telling a touching story. I remember Juan Mayoral on stage with his FISM act, Tina Leonard, of course. They were heroes. They are still heroes for me, models. And yeah, and they were doing that on stage. I mean, at the end of their act, we're like, "Ooh, wow, oh, that was, ooh, okay." So I thought, what if I could do something like this with a deck of cards? I come with a deck of cards, nothing else, and 7 minutes later, I see tears rolling on people's cheek and people being touched. That was my goal. I'm so glad it worked. And from that moment, I realized, oh, magic is not only about seeing things, it's also, and most importantly, about feeling things. And to me, the most important was conveying emotions. So it could be emotions of surprise, of course, of anything, laughter, uh, nostalgia, love, anything. So, and from that moment, when I realized that, okay, then I realized, okay, that's where I want to go. Another important step was using my deck I created, so that you may know. So I'm not talking too much about it, but when I started to use this deck that I created, I my magic also changed completely. So I didn't have any comments after like, oh my gosh, you're so skillful. How many hours do you practice a day? No, the only reaction were like, oh my, holy, all words that I cannot say here, but that was the best compliment I had because it means that I was touching them so deep and they had no idea what the hell was going on, that and it looked magical to them more than just, oh yes, he's so skillful, that I also realized that this is where my magic should go to. And again, it was completely different than the kiss act, but it's still the same thing. Just touch them so deeply that the only reaction is saying a bad word because they're so shocked and surprised by the climax or the impact of the magic that they can't help it. And that's what I try to keep doing over the years, especially in my lectures, also creating things that would would be maybe something, a plot that we all know, but trying to push again the thing a little further, trying to think a little more to get something that is just impossible. Like the fullest act was pretty much there. So it was almost a year of working on stuff that I've already developed, but I wanted to push that a little more just because they were Penn and Teller, there was magician watching, and yeah, and I wanted them to be like, what is going on here?
So with FISM, does anybody ever go back and compete again and try to win a second FISM? Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I don't know anybody that has multiple FISMs. I don't think.
Yeah, Sean Farquhar did it.
Did he?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. He did it. It's a good example I remember too. It was a Finnish magician, yeah, magician from Finland, close-up magician called Simo Aalto. And he was also in the 90s, 2000, he was competing a lot. And I know FISM is every 3 years. He did FISM and he got third prize in close-up. He had a great eye with bells, beautiful golden bells, like cups and bowls bells, beautiful, producing a giant one at the end. So 3 years later, he went back to FISM. He got second place in close-up magic. It was just like, 3 years later, he went back to FISM, won first place in close-up magic. And in the meantime, of course, he reworked his act and made it even like better and added more stuff, etc., etc. So yes, several people have done it in the past. Fred Capps did it too
Okay.
a long time ago. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard to be a second time FISM winner, especially because you cannot compete with the same act, exactly the same act. You have to make like major changes or come back with a completely different act. That's even harder. But
The guy that did the bells, he didn't do bells every time.
he did the bells every time, but he made some. I think there is a rule in. I need to double check again exactly what are the words because they're important. I'm a FISM judge, so I should know, but
Yeah.
I know it. I know that you cannot compete with the exact same thing. You have to change things enough so you can compete again with the act. You cannot just come back and do the exact same thing, especially if you've been awarded before. If you have not been awarded, yeah, you can come back and try again with the same act. But if you've been awarded already, you have to change. And also, it's good for you because you might be in front of the same judges or in front of people who were not judges the first time, but they saw you at FISM, now they're judges. And that happened to me already when I was a judge at FISM. I'm like, oh, I've seen that guy before. Uh, he hasn't really done much since the last time I saw him. That's basically the same act. So why would he get a prize this time? I don't think so. So yeah, but if you see, I mean, if you're FISM judge, you're supposed to blank. It should be Men in Black, like boom, you forget about everything. You judge from what you see. But I mean, we're human beings too, so we know also at the same time that if we see someone we've seen before, we can appreciate the work, the extra work, and that can, maybe be good for them. But in the end, we still judge what we have in front of us. And honestly, if it's different
Surprise.
judges, it's consistent. If other judges didn't give an award before, it might be different judges this time, but it should be the same result in the end. Yeah.
Well, and the element of surprise is gone if you've already seen that act. You know where it's going, and you can watch for other things, and
Yeah.
all the element of surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why it's always people always ask me, say before going to FISM, say, should I do like all kinds of competitions before? I'm like, yeah, because it's good experience. But at the same time, if you do all the competitions, when you show up on FISM and you do the exact same act and you have not prepared or added something extra or special to it, the element of surprise is gone, unfortunately. But most magicians going to FISM just save something for FISM. They do competition. When they go to FISM, we're like, oh yeah, I know that. Oh my, I didn't see. Oh, that's new. That's great. Well, okay, and that can be the little thing that's good for them.
So what is a day like as a FISM judge? Do you just judge close up? Do you judge manipulation? Everything? Because I mean, it's so much magic. It's got to be magic overload. Like at the end, you're just
Yeah. Well, in the past, I think it was until the year 2000, 2003, I think. It was one panel of judges for stage and close-up. So there was 150 acts. It used to be, and I think it's still the same. It's 100 acts on stage and 15 close-up in different categories, of course. So, but now for over 20 years, they have two different panels, and I think it's better this way. When they ask me to be a judge, I have been a judge at national competition, etc., both for stage and close-up, because I have the experience and I know my thing. But FISM is very specific. So now they have a jury for close-up and one for stage. And whenever I do FISM, I'm in close-up, obviously. And I would say, no, I don't want to do stage. Just pick someone else who is a specialist on stage, and I'm okay to do the close-up, which also is better for the judges because now if you do close-up, it's only 50 acts and not like so many years before. And it's better for everyone, better for us, but also better for the competitors because FISM is 6 days. So when you have done like 5 days of magic already and you have slept basically 4 to 5 hours a night and it's 8:30 in the morning on the last day and the guy shows up in front of you and he's doing another caps and balls routine, we judge him the same way as we judge the first guy that did the caps and balls routines on the first day because we have to, and that's our job to do it. But it requires a little more energy to do that. Obviously, to make sure that everybody is judged the same way. So I think it's better also for the competitors that we are judging less people. We're having two panels.
I was thinking about this interview. I have chickens and ducks and bunny rabbits and doves, and I'm 45 minutes to feed my animals every day. So I do, people have things in the shower. No, my thinking happens out there. And I'm thinking, you're the only Boris I know. What's another Boris I know? The only other Boris I know is Boris and Natasha from Rocky and Bullwinkle. And now he's a spy.
Oh,
I got this. Come on, it's coming full circle.
Well, I've never technically been a spy, but I had a secret identity for a year that I couldn't talk about.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Boris and Natasha. Golly.
That's cool.
So, how long have you been with 4F?
4F is another big part of my career, and I'm glad you talk about it because when you said, okay, what are the steps in your career? 4F has definitely been a major step in my career. I just come back from 4F here, and I just realized that the first time I went there was in 1997, just before FISM. So this year would be my 30th. 30th time. If we also count the virtual ones that we did during COVID. But fun story, again, you like stories, so fun story about it. There is something I didn't mention. Between the Grand Prix in France and FISM, in December 1996, there was the International Macmillan Close-Up Competition in London. That was at that time, a very well-established, respected competition. I mean, I did it, and like Luke Jeremy was there, Nicholas Einhorn, Darren Brown was lecturing. I mean, it was a big thing. People from all over the world. And I decided to compete. And I won second place. Bob Sheets was first. And Obie O'Brien was in the jury. And after the competition, it was well-established people already, like Nicholas Einhorn I mentioned, and et cetera, et cetera. They were already known. And I came here, nobody knew me because I had zero name. I, came from nowhere. So Obi saw me and was like, okay, well, I got this convention, and it is in Buffalo every year in the last weekend of April. And he took a napkin at the bar and he just drew something here and says, okay, and it's by invitation only, and that's your invitation. Okay. So in April 1997, so 3 months before FISM, I went there, and I had no idea what to expect because I knew no one. I've never traveled that far. So I took my close-up mat, a backpack, and some cards, and my FISM act, my future FISM act. Well, it was my FISM act already, but yeah. And I performed there. And also there was somebody couldn't lecture and I can't remember what happened, but they had an empty slot. And Obi said, "Do you remember in London you showed me stuff also with your deck?" I'm like, "Yeah. Would you like to do like a lecture or just show the guys?" I'm like, "Oh, really? I mean, that's that's insane. I've never like really done a lecture in English. I have nothing ready, of course. I have no lecture, etc., etc. So I worked all night long to make sure that the next morning I had something ready, and I just came in front of everyone, took my deck, and said, "Okay, I'm gonna do something for you guys. Pick a count, please." And I look at the badges. I'm like, Alex Emsley, okay. Herb
Oh,
Zaro, Johnny Thompson, okay.
mhm.
Darrell, okay. Bill Malone, oh, good. Uh, that was just all these names like legends. And I just said, "Is there anybody normal here?" Everybody laughed and it broke the ice. And I said, "Okay, or whatever, I'm gonna show my stuff. We'll see." And nobody knew about my deck at that time, so they had no idea. And I could see their reactions, and everyone was just freaking out, like, "What the hell is that little Frenchie is doing?" And after that, I got letters, I got recommendations, I got people asking me the year after to come to that convention. And in the meantime, I worked, of course, on a proper lecture. I got my FISM award, so that was perfect. Everything was just boom, all together, and that's how I started to perform in the US. And I'm so grateful to Obi and everyone at 4F because they trusted me. They started to book me and creating my little network. And now the US is my second market beside France, obviously, my first one abroad. Uh, Thanks to that, because now these people have been, booking me over or recommending me to other for like 30 years. And that's yeah, I'm so grateful. And Obi, as you know, it was my magic dad. I mean, he always considered me as one of his adopted sons. So we became like very close, and so it was very sad when he passed. And but 4F is still here, stronger than ever. I'm so glad that the new team is taking over and keep making this convention the legend it should be.
Wow. Wow. I can't imagine
That's awesome.
having Bill Malone and Zorro and Elmsley pick a card.
Right. And you were just
Yeah,
to it.
it was crazy. I mean, Herb Zaro was here, and I remember I'm like I was struggling with my with my shuffle, and I'm like I'm not going to bother him. And I saw a guy the second year going to see him, and I was there, and he says, "Oh, Mr. Zaro, man, I'm sorry, I don't want to, disturb you, but it's hard for me." I was like, "Sure," and he just took a chair, and he just did like a shuffle on the chair, and he just put his fingers over the kid's finger, and I'm just like, "Oh, okay." It's like, "May I ask you?" He says, "Yeah, of course, Boris. Okay," and okay, Habzaro knows me first. Second, yeah, he's just the nicest guy, and he was, and so yeah, and it's crazy. Like 4F is a place where you see things that you don't see anywhere else.
Right.
I saw Alex Emsley in a show at 4F one day, messing up an Emsley count. You don't see that every day,
No.
and it was he did a count, and it's just like oh. And he just, fixed it on the fly and did it again. And of course, everyone in the crowd was just like, wow. Oh
Wow.
my God, cheering. I was like, okay, don't worry, because it's like a 4F is like a family. So it's okay. I mean, nobody would be like mad at anything. But it was just fun to see, okay, did we just see Alex Emsley just kind of messing up a little bit his Emsley count?
Wow. Wow.
So, of course it happens.
What year did they award you like man of the year at 4F? What do they call it?
Oh,
Guest of honor.
yeah, that was another thing. It was 2008, and so I've been there for like what now, 11 years. So yeah, I've been over 10 years. I've not missed a single 4F since 1997. I've been to every single one. I don't think there is any overseas performer going to every FISM for 30 years. I don't think there is any. But 4F is so dear to my heart. But after 10 years, 2007, Tono Nozaka was the guest of honor, and Obi came, and everybody was just waiting because we know he just came with his giant, board, and he was just turning it over, and it was a picture of the next guest of honor. So everybody was waiting for that moment on the last day, last night. And I just remember he just do this and turn it over, and I'm like, huh,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. No, 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 no. And I couldn't believe my eyes because he just kept the secret. He made sure that I didn't know, no one knew. I mean, except for the board because they were the guys deciding. And I was in shock, total shock and scared because I was so scared to hear the reaction of people. Like they would be like, huh? Because at that time I was not even, I was 35. I was 35 years old, and I mean, there's never been such a young guest of honor. And as of today, I think I'm still the youngest one. No one has ever been guest of honor at the age of 35 or less. So I thought I didn't deserve it. I was too young. There were so many great people around me that I was like, they should be the one. So, but I was okay because I had a year to prepare 2008, and on 2008 I had 2 hours Thursday night. There was the guest of honor night, and I worked my ass off for 1 year, to be honest, to make sure that I had something ready for them that would show them, hey, you didn't make a mistake. Maybe it was a good idea. And so I did my thing. I even did a parody of my FISM act, and it was a lot of fun. And at the end of the convention, I got the MVP award. And honestly, that award I was even more proud of than the guest of honor, because MVP is people voting. It's like, who do you think was the MVP of the convention? So when I got it, I was just like, okay, maybe I'm not a fraud. Maybe I deserved it. Maybe they didn't make a bad decision by choosing me as the guest of honor. I'm so proud of that one because it looks like people were happy with what I had, and they were not shocked that I was guest of honor. And so yeah, that was something big and emotional, and one of my best recognition ever.
All right, your Kiss act is so emotional and so beautiful. What was the parody?
So what I did is at the end of my 2 hours, I was just like, okay, thank you guys, and it went so well. Thank you very much. It says, I know you've seen it before, but it's my year. I'm the guest of honor, so there's no way I cannot finish this evening with you guys and not showing you my FISM act. Music, please. And music starts, and after 20 seconds, I'm doing this. And I'm like, like as a second thought, like, now you know what, guys, I'm sorry. I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, you've seen it. That's very true. And I should not have, I cannot do it again now. And maybe I should finish on something different, maybe a little more dynamic, maybe a little more masculine or something like that. Do you have some music, please? And the music, and of course, it's all set up, of course. And the tech guy started to play Macho Man by Village People. And then I removed my jacket. I removed my tie. I opened my shirt. I put a collar, like a black leather collar with some, nails, like metal nails.
Oh.
I got this leather cap with a chain over, and I'm producing a card, and it's not a kiss, it's a mustache. It's a black mustache, and I'm doing the kiss act with black mustaches in a very Village People way, I would say, and like the dude in leather in the band, and people were like in tears. They were like, this is so not me, that they were not expecting this. And at the very end of the kiss act, I put the kiss here. Okay, so there's a message. So it was not I love you. It was a little more explicit. And it was not me too, it was oh yeah. So when I turn over, and at the very end, I didn't do the kiss, of course, like this. I did the card here and turn over, and there was a mustache. And instead of taking the kiss and blowing confettis with kisses, I just took the mustache blow, and it was just black hair, just in the air.
Wow. Wow.
And I'm glad I did it because I got a standing ovation that was, I'm sure, much longer than if I had done the regular kiss act. Because people were like, just, oh my God, what we just see here. That's
That's great.
insane.
Golly.
And yeah, and it's 4F, so that's the only place I could do that because I knew they would catch all the references. They knew the act, they know me, they know that it was just for them.
I would imagine a picture of Obi on one of the final cards. I was
Yeah,
imagining
no,
that.
the picture was not a girl, it was the guy, like the Village People guy with the
Wow.
exactly the same as me. So, but yeah, it was out of character, and that's why they loved it.
Oh, I can't think like that. I can't think outside the box like that. That's awesome. So you have a new lecture coming up in September.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yes. Over the years, of course, shows, conventions have been very important to me, but sharing also has been important. I try to release as much as I could, books, videos, etc. And the lecture, I think, to me is the most important because that's where you can interact with people directly. Book is it's just one way, you read it, etc. Video, same thing. But yeah, you get full interaction with the people, with the magicians when you lecture. So to me, it's important. And yeah, so far I've done 7 different lectures. That's what I counted. Because I like to do a new lecture every 4 years-ish, sometimes 5, it depends on my schedule, but let's say 4. Almost every 4 years, I come up with a new lecture, 100% new, because it keeps me fresh too. Because as much as I love good material, I'm not a big fan of going to a convention and be like, oh, when I was at FISM 2003, I remember him doing that thing, and it's a good trick, but it was 23 years ago. So I like also to have repeated bookings for my lecture, and people, if they enjoy my lecture, they know they can book me for the next one. If they liked the previous one, and they know it's going to be different. So this time here, I'm writing right now. I'm finishing writing my 8th one, which is called the Mandela Effect, and I'm going to start it in September 2026 in France first, like as a little soft opening, I would say. And then 2027, I'm going to tour with it internationally, starting in Blackpool, February 2027, where I am booked to lecture and perform. So I'm excited about this lecture. It's more about psychology and subtleties rather than just, technique. Yeah, and I will and I have like 5 like new items coming up just to support this lecture too. So that's a lot of things
I can't,
to
I can't.
work on soon.
So tell me about your show that you have in France and your extended run.
Yes. That show is it's really my baby. It's called Crescendo. It's Italian, not French. Sorry, but it's called Crescendo. I think it's a good name for it because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, over this. It's 80 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes. So, and I'm trying to really build something that goes like this. And yeah, we started it just before COVID, and we had to stop, and it was on and off a little bit during that time because it was, difficult to do everything. But since COVID has been over, and now it's this like full fourth year already, so it keeps being extended, and I'm really happy with it. It's at Le Doublefon in Paris, which is Alexandra Duvivier and Dominique Duvivier's
Okay.
theater. Yes, in Paris, and it's great because it's the best place for my show. It's the best place because it's this venue. Their little theater has been made for theatrical close-up shows. So you got everything you can imagine and you want: lights, music, table staging, etc., etc. It's great. So yes.
Room, is it like the close-up room in Magic Castle? Is it set up like that?
Not exactly. I mean, the capacity of the room is about 50 seats,
Okay.
So I would say I would say it's a big close-up gallery. I would say it's like a biggest close-up gallery, of course. But yeah, it's really great, and that show includes all the acts that I did on TV and the FISM act, of course, and I try to every year change a little something, improve something. So it's really like a best of everything I've come up over the last 20 years. I couldn't put everything in it, but I try to make like a nice selection and also a selection that makes sense in the story because it's a show where everything is linked. It's not like tricks one after each other. It's a show. Uh, so um,
So
so
what is
I'm
the
really
crescendo of the crescendo show? What is the final trick in that show? Do you
the
build up?
final.
Do you go crazy?
Yeah, the final trick, the two final pieces on that show are the Kiss Act and the Butterfly Act, which is the sequel of the Kiss Act. And I know it was there was a big debate in my head because the Butterfly Act is darker. Kiss Act is just like a very feel-good act, and you finish on that, get the kisses. It's a love story. They kiss each other. They say I love you. It's nice feeling. Butterfly Act is about lost love. So it's a little darker and a little more intense. But the promise of the show is crescendo. And I think even if you would think, oh no, just finish on the high note, finish on the happy and feel good thing. Well, the butterfly act to me is superior to me in terms of emotion. So the it's called crescendo, and without spoiling too much, at the end of the show, I say it's not about trying to do something even more impossible, magical, or um, astonishing. It's about an emotional crescendo. It's about starting to feel things up to the end. And the end are the two pieces which are entirely to music. It's 19 minutes. It's about 8 years of development in my life. So there are my two babies. And finishing on the butterfly act, I think gets a higher emotional feeling and notes than the Kiss Act. And I know that people at the end always talk about them, of course. But to get to those two pieces at the end, I have to build everything before so they're all prepared for it. Because otherwise they would just get them like this and be like, whoa, oof, no. So crescendo, tuk, 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 tuk.
So
And
are you doing that gig once a week, or is that 5 nights a week? How does that work?
no, usually I do like once or twice a month,
Okay.
because it allows me to travel in between.
Yeah.
And also because at the Doublefon they have David Stone, they have Mark Hobie, they have Gaëtan Bloom, they have of course Alexandra, they have like and all kinds of new shows also coming up now. And so yes, so it's good because when people enjoy a show, they come back to see another one, and like every week it's different. And also for people like me or David Stone, it's just nice to be there. It's our residency, so we can invite people because it's public. It's not like private gigs and stuff. But in the meantime, if you want to be like here, I'm going to leave next week for Japan for 2 weeks. So I'm going to do the Doublefond here, and I'm going to do another one early June as soon as I'm back. But it allows me to be in Japan for 2 weeks for doing shows and lectures and workshops there. And I kind of like that because yeah, I still want to have like the freedom to be able to travel. One day maybe I'll be tired of traveling and I don't want to travel anymore. And maybe I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I can do more shows in Paris or maybe have my place to do it. But right now I just kind of like that rhythm and and yeah, and that's why we keep extend the show like this because I don't want to do too much in too little time.
That's awesome, dude. You mentioned Gaëtan Bloom. I love that guy. I thought he had retired. I'm so happy he's still performing.
Oh
That makes
yeah, no, he still has this show at the Doublefond, of course, yes. So, but yeah, Doublefond has been they're very good at having, the French people that also have like an international career. We talk about Gaëtan or David or Marcoby. So because it's whenever they have like magicians from overseas coming to Paris, well, they go to the Doublefond because that's their chance to see a full show by those guys that they may have seen at conventions, but only like on 10 minutes, maybe 15-ish, or yeah, not like on a full show. And that's why also I like this thing. And yeah, and oh, fun information too, because I know you like fun stories. This year in 2026, Crescendo has been nominated Magic Show of the Year, so I'm very excited. And results at the end of September during the French Championship of Magic. So I don't know. We'll see. I may get it or not, but at least I'm nominated. So I feel good about it. Whenever I see a trailer and it says Academy Award nominee, they're not
Yeah.
winners, they're nominees, but it's still in the trailer because it means they're good. I'm like, okay, it's a nice recognition also.
Yeah.
That is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
So it said in here that you performed at the castle over 100 times, and you also performed at the Magic Castle in Japan. What is the Magic Castle of Japan? What is that?
The Magic, no, Magic Castle in Hollywood, yes. I think this year is going to be the 25 years I've been performing there because I started 2001. So 25 years. So yeah, hundreds, I don't know many hundreds of shows there, but like 300-400 maybe at
Wow.
least at the castle. Japan, they don't have a Magic Castle in Japan, but what I did is, I know what you're referring to. You may have seen that. There is a TV show that was taped, a Japanese TV show taped at the Magic Castle, and it was called Magic Castle. And it's basically international performers performing at the Magic Castle, and Shudogawa was the host with some famous Japanese TV host, and I taped that. I remember a few years ago, and that was fun. But they have lots of magic places too in Japan. They have magic bars, a lot of magic bars, and a lot of venues. Like I'm going to do Osmond in Japan. It looks like a great place. I've never performed there. Last time I was there was 10 years ago, but just for lectures, just a big lecture tour all over Japan. But here I'm doing shows also. Osman seems really great. Ide also. I met him at the castle last year, and he has this magic bar in Tokyo, and everyone just raves about it. So I hope I have enough time so I can go and see him. I think I have one night off, so that should be it.
Wow.
But yeah, Japan is also, they're great. They're really wonderful people.
Wow. Boris, this hour has flown by. Thank you.
Already? Okay, good.
Thank you so much, man. Website, Instagram, Facebook, what's the links people could find you at?
Oh, easy. Boris Wild. So BorisWild. That's on my Facebook. So Facebook.com, Boris Wild. Instagram, same thing. Website, boriswild.com. So yeah, if you're magicians, there is a section like an online shop where, because we talked about a few things here like books and stuff, so you can find them there. The rest is you can find on like my videos, the Fool Us video, of course. Yeah, that's how you can keep in touch with me. Yeah, Instagram and yeah, Facebook a little bit too, website, email. I mean, everything is there. You can find me easily. So yeah.
You're the best, man. Thank you for doing this. Thank you. I think the thing left to say is see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Check us out online at wesisley.com and patreon.com/Wes_Isley for behind-the-scenes videos, blooper videos, never-before-seen footage, discounts on merchandise, magic trick tutorials, and more. That's Wes Iseli, spelled WESISELI.